Alright folks, welcome to another live stream. Still a little under the weather today, but I do enjoy myself doing these live streams, so here I am. We gotta talk about Bitcoin today. I'm gonna load up the comments on my phone. There are a few important things we do need to talk about today. 1 second. Beautiful. Got Dobie on the stream again. He's just been visiting. Very happy with him. He's a good boy. I do like him. Okay. Next up, we need to load BTC. Oh, what's this? We're still bullish? Who could have predicted this? How could this be? Right. Let's check out how yesterday's idea is going. Here we are. The bullish scenario. Goodness gracious. How could I have predicted this? Yeah, guys. If you guys know some tips on how to get my TradingView ideas to the front page of TradingView, that'd be really cool. Since I am tremendously interested in people seeing this kind of information, since I'll be damned if there's anyone else on TradingView who creates things this accurate. It's following the projection perfectly, and that take profit target is still in place. As long as that pivot is sustainable, this will do fine. So that's pretty good. And I'm going to check on PPT real quick because I haven't done that yet today. Yeah, it's still okay. A lot of lateral trading there. All this compression is good since it means that it'll take less force to actually recontinue the upward trend. How are you guys today? What's new? Yeah, you want me to look at XLM? I can do that. But still, concerning Bitcoin, the fact that this acts as such defined pivot is not a chance. Look at how perfectly we find support on the edge of that band. It's pretty ridiculous if you ask me. So, will this continue trending? Yeah, the pivots have not been crossed. This is still a sustainable upward trend, and because of that, I'm still in all my altcoins, and all my altcoins are going up. That's just kind of the way the market condition is going. So let's talk about what the most major resistances are going to be in the short term for Bitcoin, just in case we decide to stay in these longs. We should always know the best way to protect ourselves in these kind of scenarios. Okay, we're going to have to go above the 12-hour, over to the daily, shall we? All right. Looks like I need to load up the 250 band. Let's see how this interacts with our chart, okay? Very nice. Again, my long-term target, or I'm sorry, my midterm target right now for BTC is $5,000, or at least the bottom edge of this band, and that is going to continue to slope downwards as this resistance slowly catches up to meet price. Okay? You can stay bullish on Bitcoin up until that pivot is reached. In my mind, we're getting our TradingView lag much sooner than usual today. Right, Dobie? So, I do anticipate we will continue this upward trend up until around $4,600 now, because this resistance will continue to go downwards. Now, what happens if this point of resistance is broken? We will trend up to meet that 250 moving average, and then I'm predicting a rejection. Alternatively, and I think this is the most probable scenario, is we're going to run up to the resistance and get rejected down to the weekly 200 moving average again, right? That weekly 200 moving average is probably going to find support. That, and I think the other alternative is going to be the monthly 50. So if we check the monthly chart, and we change this to a 50 moving average, that's probably going to be the bottom for Bitcoin, okay? And I need to go to BLX here, 1 second. Oh. 5,014 is not 50. That's 50. Very nice. So again, I do expect us to retrace a little bit higher, bounce off the resistance, before we trend down to either the weekly 50, or the weekly 200, or the monthly 50. Those are going to be the two pivots for support. Of course, if we go below those pivots, we're going to be in no man's land. So if we do check the weekly chart here, I find it very unlikely that we are going to trend beneath those support levels. I am going to change this to the 200 moving average. And then let's just zoom out all the way back here, okay? Also, there is a really interesting note to go with this. While we can't get a full reading of mass because of the lack of history here, it still is implied that we need to revert to the longest overexpanded period, and that's around $2,000 at the moment. However, I find it much more likely that we're going to trend on the weekly 200, and then this mean down here will be able to reach price. Right, since you don't need to trend to a mean, sometimes it can just be a lateral move. If we pop down to the daily chart, yeah, that's yesterday's news. Let's go back to BTC USD. Okay, I'm still very fond of this chart. And again, we need to retrace to around the 50 moving average on the daily as well. That's also a very likely pivot for us to get rejected off of, and it's going to be around the same place. I am pretty excited for how this is going to turn out, and I do predict we'll be able to stay in our bullish positions for at least another 3 days. Of course, if we poke our heads on the 4-hour chart, if we do break our major pivot, we will retrace all the way down to that mean. What day of the week is it? Saturday? People must be busy on the weekends. Yeah, 50 moving average. Wait, really? Let's try the 1 hour. That's a little concerning. Dude, this dog is so small. He just sits in my lap. I love it. Load 3D Wave PM. Also, I just need to do a final bit of video editing tonight, and I will be able to get the first lesson of my course up, okay? Looks around 280 now. All right, if we switch this mean to 280, it's going to look about the same as the pink line. Yep. Perfect. Perfect support. So let's talk about Wave PM crosses, since that's going to be the next stage. As soon as we get this crosser right here of the 14 over the 100, that's going to provide us with a volatility pop to the upside. Of course, as long as the CCI is weighted to the upside as well, which will be a very bullish scenario for us. Oh yeah, I guess it is Christmas time. It's a good thought. How do I feel about Ethereum? I'm going to check XLM, I'm going to do Ethereum, and I'm going to be off for the day. since I do have some work to do, and I still am under the weather. XLM, BTC. Lateral range trading. Let's see how we can define the period. Okay. Do you see him? Do you see how good he is? Okay. How much you bet we're going to trade laterally as defined by this period? I bet it. Would you look at that? Alright guys, 160 was the longest overexpanded period. We retrace to the 160 moving average. We find resistance on the top edge of the 160 band. Goodness gracious. Find support on the bottom edge of the 160 band. Then, our reading goes below 0.7, and it allows price to break out of the compressing band. I'll bite briefly. I currently don't see any decent trades on this. Yes, we are getting significant compression. There's a very low volatility overhead. You will be able to take a new position on this in the near future. However, I would actually wait for the trend to begin before you attempt to enter. I'm going to check out FUSD. FUSD is going to look the same as FBTC, my friend. Okay? USD is pretty much just Bitcoin on leverage. That's all it is. This looks fine. It looks like we're creating a bull flag, right? That's just the compression of short-term volatility. It's required because the short-term periods of mass are overexpanded. So this bout of lateral trading should enable it for a new upward move. Of course, if we do get downward expansion of our longest period, or excuse me, of our midterm periods, then we need to be a bit more concerned about the direction of the trend. We're going to take a look at 3-wave PM here real quick. Looks like we need to be looking at the 300 period. I'll load that up and see if it's where we're finding support. Change this to 300. Lo and behold, who could have predicted this? Look at this pivot on which we are finding support. Christ. This is just insane. Right, and then Eric, we compress laterally by the shorter term period. Why? Because we are compressing laterally as defined by the 40 period, which happens to be the next longest overexpanded period. Guess what happens when we change this band to 40? It will contain price almost exactly. All right, since as soon as we hit that 40 note, as soon as we're inside the band, we trade laterally as defined by the 40 band. Okay, 40 band is now defined below the 0.7 value, which means price can reasonably trend outside this band as it is sufficiently compressed, and the long-term periods are still overexpanded, so we will see how that plays out. I've got a question from Dominic. Thinking Forex, what is the lowest time frame, both in terms of trade length as well as candle size, you think volatility 30 can be applied to as well? 30-second chart, mate. If I could load the 30-second chart or the 1-second chart, I could reasonably trade. Let's just do GBP USD. Choose a random pair. I spelled it wrong. Okay, we're going to go to the 3-minute chart. Okay. Let's go to the 1-minute chart, right? Because these fundamentals work everywhere. It's actually a little ridiculous just how accurate all this information is. It's like almost a little concerning. You can eat my cashews. Okay, watch this. We're on the 1-minute chart, you fuckers. Excuse my language. Right? If we change this to a 100 band, guess what happens? You'll never guess what happens when I change this to a 100 band. Okay? Watch. Guess what happens when we re-enter the 100 band? Price goes to the 100 mean. This is a 1-minute chart. There will not be an instance where this does not work, okay? And I can confidently say that. And no, I have not been backtesting this 1 minute chart. I just know how accurate my theory is. Okay? Watch this. When we re-enter the 60 band, price trends to the 60 mean. Okay? That's 2 winning trades. Here's another one. Alright. You know what? I'm going to make this even more impressive. I'm going to hide the candles. I think I'll need to refresh the page here. Yeah, because I can't zoom in. Welcome to the 1 minute chart, my friends. This is where the real money is made. Of course, price volatility is a little higher down here, and you do need to compensate that by waiting for the correct CCI rolls, but it doesn't stop it from working. Oh, NZD/USD. Let's do the 1 minute chart. Okay. Is there any way I can go below the 1 minute chart, folks? Okay, here's another good example. Watch this. Wait for the 3D wave PM to load up. Small dog. Small dog. Okay. Guess what happens over here, my folks? 350 periods, the longest overexpanded period on the fucking 1 minute chart. Excuse my language. Change this to a 300 band. Guess what happens when we re-enter the 300 band? Do you think that perhaps price will trend to the 300 mean? There's only one way to find out. Oh, would you look at that? When we re-enter the 300 band, price moves laterally for a quick pop up to retest the 300 band, and then it will proceed to compress laterally as defined by the 300 band on the 1 minute chart. Okay? You can use this information anywhere, in any market, on any time frame. There is not a scenario where this information will not work. Okay? And this is only one aspect of the strategy. We are just looking at compressions. If we want to trade expansions as well, that is definitely an opportunity. Although you typically need to go at least a 3 minute chart to trade expansions. Okay, this location. CCI is weighted to the downside. You have the cross. This would actually be a short entry right there. And then this would be a scenario of trading compression. Trying to find a reading where all my wave PM levels are below the 0.7 value, since those are typically the biggest volatility pops. Here we are. Excellent. This location would have been a great short opportunity, right? Because you're getting the wave PM cross below the 0.4 value at this location. CCI is weighted to the downside. You would actually enter a short right here, right? Because all this is symbolizing is you're sufficiently compressed, and then the expansion of new mass indicates the beginning of new trending. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today. I am a little tired. I just want to play with my dog. And we showed off enough for today. I'll try to get everything done, at least the lessons in the next 3 hours here, so you guys will be able to purchase that. Alright, my folks, I'll talk to y'all later. Gotta check out. Oh, like and subscribe. Later.